The business of America is business. This is perhaps Coolidge's most famous quote, encapsulating his belief in the vital role of commerce in shaping the nation's prosperity. His tenure as president was marked by a strong focus on economic growth, where he believed that business, not government intervention, was the key to the nation's success. He argued that the government should not meddle in the private sector but should instead create an environment conducive to business growth, which would naturally lead to prosperity for all. Silent cowardice in the face of evil is no virtue. This statement reveals Coolidge's strong moral compass. While he may have been reserved in his public appearances and speeches, he was a man of conviction who believed that standing up for what is right, even in the face of difficulty or opposition, was essential. He understood the importance of moral courage, particularly in times of national or global turmoil. His presidency, which occurred in the aftermath of World War I, came at a time when many were seeking peace and stability, but Coolidge recognized that peace without moral integrity could never be truly achieved. Nothing in the world can take the place of persistence. Talent will not. Nothing is more common than unsuccessful men with talent. Genius will not. Unrewarded genius is almost a proverb. Coolidge's belief in persistence and hard work is evident in this quote. For him, talent or genius alone was not enough to guarantee success. It was through relentless perseverance, the willingness to continue working toward a goal despite challenges and setbacks, that true achievement was possible. He understood that success required more than innate ability, it required consistent effort and resilience. Confidence is contagious, so is lack of confidence. Here, Coolidge emphasizes the importance of a positive, confident outlook, especially for leaders. A leader's attitude, he believed, has a profound impact on the morale of the people they led. Confidence in the government, in business, and in personal endeavors is contagious and can spread optimism, while a lack of confidence can foster doubt and uncertainty. This understanding of the psychological impact of leadership was part of Coolidge's broader belief that leadership should inspire and uplift, not sow fear or uncertainty. Prosperity is only an instrument to be used, not a deity to be worshipped. In this statement, Coolidge recognizes the importance of prosperity but cautions against making it the ultimate goal or end in itself. Prosperity, for him, was a means to an end, a tool that could improve lives and promote progress, but not the sole focus of society or government. His administration worked hard to foster economic growth, but Coolidge always maintained that the true purpose of wealth was to provide for the well-being of individuals and the nation as a whole. To live under the American Constitution is the greatest political privilege that was ever accorded to the human race. Coolidge's deep respect for the U.S. Constitution is reflected in this quote. He believed that the Constitution was not only a document that defined the structure of American government but a symbol of the freedoms and rights that made the United States unique. He often spoke of the Constitution as a safeguard for liberty and an essential framework for maintaining the rule of law and justice in society. In a democracy, the individual is an important factor, and we should never forget that. There are those who would reduce the individual to nothing, and who would make the government everything. Such theories are alien to our traditions. Coolidge strongly advocated for individualism and personal responsibility. He believed that the strength of the nation lay in the ability of individuals to shape their own destinies. His views stood in contrast to those of his political opponents, who believed in a more active role for the government in regulating the economy and society. Coolidge, however, was a staunch defender of personal liberty, arguing that the individual's rights should be protected above all else. "I have never been hurt by what I have not said." This quote reflects Coolidge's preference for silence over unnecessary words. Known for his brevity, Coolidge often let his actions speak louder than his words. He believed that excessive talk could detract from meaningful action, and that in many situations, silence was a powerful tool for reflection and decision-making. His approach to leadership was quiet, but decisive, and his rare words were always chosen carefully. "The world is better off because of the works of good men and women, who, by their labors, make the world better." In this statement, Coolidge acknowledges the importance of hard work, dedication, and personal responsibility in making society better. He was a firm believer in the power of individuals to contribute to the greater good. His own life, marked by disciplined work in public service, was a testament to this ideal. For Coolidge, the key to national progress was found in the actions of ordinary people striving to make a difference in their communities and country. Nothing in this world can take the place of persistence. Talent will not. Nothing is more common than unsuccessful men with talent. Coolidge emphasized that success was not solely dependent on talent, but rather on persistent effort and determination. Many people with great potential fail to reach their goals, he believed, because they do not have the perseverance to continue when faced with obstacles. For Coolidge, persistence was a fundamental ingredient of success, and it was through consistent effort that people achieved their dreams. To my mind, the greatest reward and luxury of being a part of the public service is the opportunity to do something for people. This quote demonstrates Coolidge's belief in the nobility of public service. While many view political office as a path to power or fame, Coolidge saw it as an opportunity to serve others. His public service career was marked by a focus on helping ordinary Americans through policies that promoted economic opportunity, personal liberty, and individual responsibility. Public opinion is not an official law, and public opinion is not the same as the law of the land. In this statement, Coolidge distinguishes between popular sentiment and the rule of law. He was deeply committed to the idea that the law should be impartial and based on principles of justice, not swayed by the changing moods of the populace. This understanding of law as a stable, unwavering foundation for society was central to his approach to governance. He believed that the government's responsibility was to uphold the law, regardless of temporary public opinion. One of the great principles of democracy is the recognition of the right of every person to control their own life. Coolidge's devotion to democracy was rooted in his belief that every individual had the right to self-determination. He was an advocate for personal liberty and believed that government should never infringe upon the rights of individuals to make their own choices. This belief shaped his policies, which aimed to reduce government intervention in people's daily lives and promote individual freedom. We cannot do everything at once, but we can do something at once. Coolidge's pragmatic approach to leadership is reflected in this quote. He recognized that change and progress could not always be achieved overnight, but he believed in taking action where it was needed most. By focusing on achievable goals and making incremental improvements, Coolidge was able to implement lasting reforms and create a stable environment for growth during his presidency. The government is not a business, it is a service to the people. While Coolidge was a proponent of business and economic growth, he also believed that the government's role was different from that of a private business. Government, in his view, existed to serve the people, not to compete with them. He understood that the government's primary function was to protect individual rights, maintain law and order, and create conditions for prosperity, rather than to engage in business practices or seek profit. I do not choose to run for president in 1928. Toward the end of his presidency, Coolidge made the decision not to seek re-election in 1928, which was a reflection of his belief in the limits of power and the importance of stepping aside when it was time for new leadership. Coolidge's decision was a rare instance of a president voluntarily relinquishing power, demonstrating his commitment to the principles of democracy and the peaceful transfer of power.